Today, I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to generate AI avatar videos from an AI workflow just like this. So I'm going to enter in a prompt such as the Scottish Highlands, give it a little bit of time, and then it gives me an output a little bit like this.
Welcome to the breathtaking Scottish Highlands, where rugged mountains meet serene lochs.
And it goes on, but this has so many applications from content creation to marketing to personalized cold outreach, loads of different applications. So in this video, I'm going to break down how it works. I'm also going to give you the automation for free. You can download it and start using it within seconds. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so here we are within n8n. Let's take a high-level overview of the automation here, then we're going to dig into it. So basically what this is doing is we've got a form at the beginning and a form at the end. That's how we're choosing to interact with this automation. In this case, you could change this so you could connect it to a Google Sheet or to Airtable or to a website that you created. But in this example, we're just going to use a form. On that form, we enter what we want to create the video about, the topic. Then we use a basic LLM chain to use AI to create a script based around that topic. Then once we've got the script, we pass it into a code node, which makes that code JSON friendly, it escapes it. We then use our second tool, which is HeyGen. This is HeyGen, is what we're using to actually create the videos. So we're first going off and actually telling HeyGen to create the video. Then we need to wait a little bit for HeyGen to create it because it's not quite instant. So what we're doing here in this section is that we're polling. We're waiting 10 seconds, checking to see if it's been generated. If it hasn't been generated, we're going to check again after another 10 seconds. And if it hasn't, wait another 10 seconds, wait another 10 seconds, and so on. But when it is created, then we're going to go to this last step, which is giving us that link, which we can view within the form to go and view our video. Okay, so that is the high level overview of it. Let's have a look at each step in more depth. Okay, so on the on-form submission, we've only got one field within here. We've got video topic, which is text, and that's simply going to allow us to enter text. You could add in more here, such as which avatar you want to use, and you could wire that up, and I'll show you how in a little bit. And you could add in the voice that you wanted, if it's going to be landscape or portrait, lots of things like that. But in this example, we're just going to go with the topic. We are using OpenRouter for this automation here because it's great and it just allows you to connect to a load of different AI models. We can see that we are using GPT-4 mini in this situation, but I could change this very easily and move to something like ChatGPT-5 or whatever I wanted to. Then we are setting the maximum number of tokens. Now, because I just want to create a short video, I'm setting the maximum number of tokens as 200. If we go into the actual basic LLM chain node itself, this is what we've got. So in the prompt, we've changed this to define below, which means we've got this prompt section here, and we are simply dragging in our video topic from our previous step. Then all I need to do is add in a system prompt here. And the system prompt, let me open this up, says, you are an assistant that will take a video idea or concept and create a script for a short video. Only reply with words that should be spoken, make it only 3 to 4 sentences long. You could add in a lot more context here to say, be funny, or to speak in short sentences, or to make it really grandiose and use big words or use short words, or make it longer or shorter. In this example, I've just gone with this. This works for this example. And here you can see this is the output. Welcome to the breathtaking Scottish Highlands, where rugged mountains meet serene lochs. There we go, fantastic. Okay, so next we need to run this code node here. Let me open this up. So we are running this code here. What this code does is it takes that script and essentially removes anything from that script that we cannot pass into an API call. Because when you're creating an API call through an HTTP request, you can't just throw in any characters. Some of them, such as speech marks, if you put that into an API call, then it just will break it. So we want to make sure that certain things are excluded. If you don't include this, then 50% of the time it will break. Now, if you are following along with me and you don't want to copy out this code line for line, then you can go to the link down in the description, come to this page here, enter in your details, and I will send you this entire automation here for free. You can just download it and then upload it to your n8n instance, and it will have all of this information, and it will have all of this information here, including my API key, which is fine because I don't use this API key. Let's talk about that actually. So let's have a look at that API call. So this is an HTTP request node. It is a post request, and we are using HeyGen. So first, before we go through this, let's go through HeyGen. So you want to come to the HeyGen website. you'll want to create an account. You can create a free account. You can actually create videos without having to enter any payment details, which is really cool. And then once you log in, you'll come to a page that looks very much like this. If you go to the bottom left, it might move things around, maybe if they make changes to the platform, but you want to come to your settings and you want to look for subscriptions and API. Then go to HeyGen API, and you'll see here that you have got API token. And you will want to copy this or generate it if you haven't generated it already. But essentially, we just want to copy this because we're going to use it in a second. And what we want to do is come over to Google and we want to search for HeyGen documentation. There we go. And we want to come to this one here and come over to documentation. And you're going to see that the very first thing that we see is this bit of curl here, which is an HTTP request. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to come over to n8n. What we've just copied is this HTTP request. Let me, in fact, create a new HTTP node. Then we want to import curl and paste in that curl that we just copied. Click import, and you'll see that you'll have the exact same details that I do in this node here. The only difference is the API key. Now, let me delete this. That is where we go back over to HeyGen, get our API key. Let me copy that, come over here, and insert that in this part here. Now, it's pretty bad form for me to be exposing my API key, but I'm not using it. So like, you guys can come and you can take my 7.5 credits if you really want to. The only other things which you need to pay attention to here are the inputs. So let me scroll down to this part here, the JSON part, and I'm going to open this up. And this is an expression, so we need to make sure this is an expression rather than fixed. And then what we need to do is we need to pass in the input text. This input text is the text from the previous step, which has gone through that code node, and now we can pass straight into the API call, and we just drag that in here, and then we've got that there. And you can see here, this is our API call, and we've got our script within the body of this API call. Okay, so this API call is going to run and it's going to start creating a video for us within HeyGen. However, it doesn't create it instantaneously. It does take a little while to create, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a couple of minutes in some cases, depending on HeyGen and how many people are using HeyGen. So what we need to do is we need to create a polling system. This essentially goes and it checks, is the video ready yet? If it's not ready, we'll say, okay, go and check again in 10 seconds time. And if it is ready, then it will give us the link. So we are creating a wait node here, and we're letting this wait for 10 seconds. It doesn't really make a difference. You could go 5. It's probably just going to run twice as many times if you go 5 rather than 10, but you could do that. Then we're going to run this HTTP request, which is our retrieve video node. And all we're doing here, actually, if we go over to documentation, come down here and go wait for video, get this, copy this, and you can import that the same way that I showed you previously. All you need to do is copy this and come back over to n8n and use the import curl again. The only thing we need to change is the video ID in the parameter. When you import that curl, you'll see this video ID, and all we need to do is get the ID of the video from that node where we created the video. So if you look on the left, video ID, just drag and drop that in there. And that is what's telling HeyGen which video we're trying to retrieve. Otherwise, it won't know which one. Okay, so then it's going to go in, it's going to check. Let me pick one of these items, which came back as false or processing. And you can see here, this is the output, and it still says processing if it is processing. But when it has completed, it will say completed, and it has some other information. So what we're doing in this if statement here is that we are checking if that status is equal to completed, because that's what it's going to be when it has been completed. If it is not completed, it will be processing. So we need to go back to the wait another 10 seconds, check again, and then we can see if it's completed or not. And then once it has completed, within this form here, all we're doing is going on form ending, so we can add another step to the form, and we're calling this video generated, and we're adding in this bit of HTML, which essentially will just give us a button which uses our URL of the video provided to see the video. And you can see here, this is the output, this is the video URL. I can simply copy this, and I could use this in whatever I wanted to. I could put it in a Google Sheet, I could email it to someone. If I copy this into if I copy it into my web browser, we can see that I've got this video here just by using that URL. You don't need to worry about this. This is actually completely irrelevant, this part down here. So there we go. That is the overview of it. Now you can make lots of changes to this. For instance, let's say you don't want this avatar here. Maybe you want another avatar. Well, what we can do is if we come over to the documentation and we go over to API reference, we can go list all avatars here. And once you've put in your API token, then you'll be able to try it here. And what this is going to do, it's not going to look very nice, but it is going to give you a list of all of the avatars that you can use. And the same thing if you click on all voices and then do the same thing. What we can do here is we can have a look through these, and you can see here we've got a list of different avatars which we can use. This one's Abigail, different option. Scroll down, we've got Albert, we've got Amelia, and I can have a look and see what Amelia looks like by having a look at this, which is preview video URL. So if I come here and let me copy this. Come on, let me copy it and open this up. Then we can see. In fact, it's going to download it, and once you download it, you're going to be able to see the preview of this video, and you'll be able to say, okay, yep, that's the avatar that I want. And then what you can do, once you've selected that, is that you can see the one that you want to use and simply copy this avatar ID. So we copy this, come back over to n8n, and within our create video, we can change out this ID up here for the one that we want to use. So we're going to change it from Abigail to Amelia sitting business trading side, the one that we just looked at. That's how we can change the avatar so that we're not just using that standard one within there. We can change it to whatever we want. The same thing with the voice as well. So you can change the voice and not change the avatar. So you can have one avatar have lots of different voices, and you do this the same way. Just come over here, go to all voices, try it. You get that list. You can find the one that you want, copy the ID, and put that ID within voice ID. And there you go. There is a load more to play around with within HeyGen. In fact, you can clone yourself so that the avatar that you pass in is not one of the ones which is within HeyGen, but it's actually you yourself. That can be really great if you want to create content which is you, but you don't actually want to film it. You can also change things in here, such as the speed and also the dimensions. So you can change it from landscape to portrait and play with a load of other things. So there we go. That is how you can use this automation here to create AI avatar videos very quickly, very simply. If you do have any questions, you can come over to the mastermind. I'll leave a link down in the description below. You can see here we've got a load of courses around lots of things to do with AI and also support for anyone that's got any questions regarding anything. That's it from this video. Hope you've liked it. If you have, please do give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this, do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.